Welcome to Never Again, the ideological journey of Magneto. This is the story of a vow forged in the ashes of the Holocaust, weaponized through anger and loss, tested by devastating consequences, and ultimately transcended through profound transformation. Today we explore how a promise of never again evolved from a desperate cry for personal survival into a species-wide crusade, and finally into something far more complex and redemptive. Magneto's story begins as Max Eisenhardt, a German Jewish boy whose family was persecuted and murdered during the Holocaust. His imprisonment in Auschwitz became the crucible that would shape his entire worldview. The graphic novel X-Men: Magneto Testament, created in consultation with the Simon Wiesenthal Center, meticulously researched this foundational trauma to ensure historical accuracy. This experience of systematic dehumanization instilled in him an absolute conviction that history would repeat itself for mutants unless prevented by powerful, unyielding force. His later adoption of aliases like Magnus and Eric Lenscher reflects a man constantly attempting to outrun this defining trauma, yet never truly escaping it. After the war, Max tried to build a normal life with his new family, hoping to leave the horrors behind. But when a mob discovered his mutant nature and set fire to his home, his nascent powers were unable to save his daughter Anya. In his grief and rage, he consciously unleashed his magnetism for the first time as an adult, annihilating the mob in a display of raw power. This event shattered any remaining hope for peaceful coexistence, when his wife Magda, terrified of what she had witnessed, fled from him. This devastating loss transformed his personal vow of never again into a species-wide crusade. He would never again be powerless to protect his family, and he now defined all mutants as his family. Magneto redefines mutants not merely as a variation of humanity, but as its evolutionary successor, Homo sapiens superior. This is more than a scientific term. It's a political and philosophical declaration of inherent rights and dominance. This ideology places him in direct opposition to Charles Xavier, whose dream centers on peaceful integration. The conflict mirrors the American civil rights movement, with Xavier's approach reflecting Martin Luther King Jr.'s philosophy of nonviolent integration, while Magneto's stance echoes Malcolm X's initial position of achieving safety and equality by any means necessary, as explored in academic analyses like X-Men ethics. In the Marvel Universe, mutants possess the X gene, a unique genetic trait located on the 23rd chromosome. This gene codifies for transcription factors that activate latent portions of the human genome, resulting in a vast array of superhuman abilities. The manifestation of these powers typically occurs at puberty and is often triggered by stress. This biological reality forms the foundation for Magneto's classification of mutants as a new species, Homo superior. As detailed in the Journal of Geek Studies article, The Biological Basis of Marvel Comics Mutants. The pivotal storyline, I, Magneto from Uncanny X-Men issue 150 in 1981 marks a crucial turning point. Magneto's crusade reaches a moral crisis after he threatens global destruction and strikes down the young X-Man Kitty Pryde. Seeing the terrified girl and her Star of David necklace, he is overcome with guilt, witnessing a horrifying reflection of his own past persecution in his present actions. This is the first time his history as a Holocaust survivor is explicitly linked to a moment of moral reckoning. Comic Book Herald described this as transforming Magneto from a cackling, cartoonish villain into a tortured man overcome by his past. The 1993 crossover Fatal Attractions represents the point of no return. Magneto unleashes a devastating electromagnetic pulse on Earth from his orbital base, Avalon. When Wolverine nearly guts him in the ensuing battle, Magneto retaliates with an act of horrific, unprecedented violence. He forcibly rips the adamantium from Wolverine's entire skeleton. This was the story that answered the fan question: couldn't Magneto just do that? For a generation of readers, this was a defining moment of shocking brutality. In response, an enraged Xavier mind-wipes Magneto, an act with its own disastrous consequences. The 2005 event House of M shows the ultimate realization of Magneto's lifelong goal. His daughter, the Scarlet Witch, warps reality to create a world where mutants are the dominant species and Magneto is their revered global monarch. However, this utopia is revealed to be a corrupt, racist society built on the oppression of non-powered humans, called sapiens. When Storm confronts the regime in a Black Panther tie-in, she exposes its core hypocrisy with the statement, "You are a world built on a lie." The regime favors human-passing mutants and perpetuates the same bigotry Magneto once fought against. When the heroes uncover the truth, a furious Magneto attacks his son Quicksilver. Seeing this violence, a broken Scarlet Witch lashes out at her father, blaming his relentless crusade for twisting their family. With 3 words, "No more mutants," she shatters reality, depowering over 90% of the world's mutant population in an event known as M Day, or the Decimation. The ultimate irony, Magneto's lifelong battle to prevent a mutant genocide, when taken to its extreme, directly caused one. Following the 2019 relaunch in House of X and Powers of X, Magneto and Charles Xavier put aside their decades-long rivalry. Together, they establish a sovereign nation-state for all mutants on the living island of Krakoa. Former heroes and villains unite under a common cause, survival through sovereignty. Magneto's vow of never again is rechanneled from revolution into statecraft. He is no longer a terrorist trying to conquer the world, but a statesman building and protecting one. This new paradigm offers mutants a home, security, and through the miracle of the 5, the ability to resurrect their dead, effectively undoing past genocides. In a stunning address to world leaders, Magneto lays out Krakoa's new strategy. Not military conquest, but economic and cultural dominance. We're going to buy your banks. We're going to buy your media. By offering miracle drugs that cure human diseases, Krakoa establishes immense global leverage. Magneto's ideology is weaponized through soft power. Despite this bold vision, the project was undermined from within. The Quiet Council's arrogance, infighting, and failure to counter the propaganda war from the anti-mutant organization Orcus demonstrated that even a utopia is subject to the frailties of those who govern it. During the AXE Judgment Day event, the Eternal Uranos attacks the mutant world of Arakko. To protect its people, Magneto fights the godlike being to a standstill. Even with his heart ripped from his chest, he uses his own power to keep himself alive and fighting until the threat is neutralized, sacrificing himself in the process. This is the ultimate demonstration of his commitment to protecting mutantkind, willing to give everything, even his life, to ensure their survival. The 2024 series Resurrection of Magneto follows his soul in the afterlife, where he is tormented by his past actions. The Shadow King confronts him, taking the form of his younger, more violent self, forcing him to reject his old egoistic consequentialism. To return to life, he must fully acknowledge the pain his great scheme caused and evolve beyond what he was. This internal battle represents a fundamental shift in his ethical core, moving from a consequentialist who believed the ends justify the means to a virtue ethicist focused on becoming a better man. In the closing moments of the Krakoan Age in X-Men issue 35, the resurrected Magneto visits a disgraced and imprisoned Charles Xavier. Xavier, having become an unrestrained utilitarian, justifies his morally compromising actions. Magneto, having come full circle, now repudiates that worldview. He declares, "I thought my hate would make me strong. It only made me a killer. Hate is never the way. Vengeance is a poison. I choose to have faith, not in a dream, but in us. We will be better men." This is Magneto's final thesis, rejecting the path of hate and vengeance he once walked. Even with his newfound enlightenment, Magneto faces new struggles, a degenerative sickness linked to his resurrection, and the daily challenge of leadership. In an Infinity comic, he confesses a crisis of faith to a rabbi, believing he is running out of time to fulfill his purpose. After helping save a child from a burning car without his powers, the rabbi comforts him. When Moses died, Joshua was there to carry on his work. Perhaps this is the resurrection of the righteous, a new generation to take up the fight. The journey of an ideologue never truly ends. For Max Eisenhardt, never again has transformed from a promise of vengeance to a daily practice of virtue.